What's up, y'all? That person is here. Not only in this building, but in this room. Y'all, we running. We running. Oh my God. Y'all. God. Wrong direction, Lucy. Wrong direction. Emma said, gosh, Lucy, why are you on the floor, girl? Emma, what are you doing here? She said, making friends. Her breath smelled like dirty lies. Emma never really has been interested in making new friends. All she truly cared about was her grades, her flu, and that the cafeteria follows the perfect hygienic order. I'm gonna not suspect her. Have you seen Daya? She said no, but I saw her last night. I said, do you remember when she left and where she said she'll go? Emma said, Lucy, Daya don't even acknowledge my presence. Why would we have talked? Okay, girl, I just thought you had some answers. She said, but what are you still doing here? Your concert is in 2.5 hours. Her words brought me back to reality. Daya is in danger. I have to hurry and find her. Okay, see you Monday, girl. Y'all, should I have suspected her? Okay, here goes Luke. Luke said, there you are. I was looking for you. Okay, I gasped for some air and gathered the courage to tell him what I just saw. I said, I think Daya's in danger. He said, but you said it was probably only a prank. He looked desperate, holding tightly onto the last string of hope he had left. Look, I changed my mind, bro. We gotta find her before it's too late. I better not tell him about the threat. My hope has faded away. He needs to have hope for both of us now. He said, but what about your concert? I mean, it don't matter about that till we find her, though. Look at him smiling. He said, but where to? I said, that dude. He said, which dude? The brother. He leaving. Okay. Luke said, Lucy, why are we following him? Daya left with him last night. Come on, Luke. Luke. Right. You be getting attitude? Come on. I said, you think we'll catch him? He said, don't worry. I'm tailing him at a close distance. The bartender said Daya rushed away with this dude last night, which isn't a good sign at all. Luke is quiet. Maybe he's already suspecting the worst will happen when we finally talk to him. After a while, we both stay silent, only hearing the faint sound of the radio and the tires moving on the road. There's been a question bugging me since Luke walked into the music room yesterday. When I realized he wasn't who I always thought he was, it's like my eyes opened and he became this new person. I wondered if he had thought the same about me too. Listen, Luke, can I ask you something? He said, yeah, of course. I said, why have we never really spoken before? Before yesterday, you've never exactly shown an interest in me. He said, it's not that I never wanted to talk to you, Lucy. Daya just keeps me pretty preoccupied, you know? I mean, that's what we were fighting about yesterday. If I had free time, she just wants to go out, no matter what I want as well. Okay, right, I understand. He said, well, there actually was a bright side to that fight yesterday. I said, and that is? He said, it led me to hearing you play your music. Okay, not me falling for him. He said, has it always been the piano for you or something else like guitar? I said, no, nothing helps me as much as the piano. He said, helps you with what? Why did I say that? It's not like I want to talk about this, but Luke seems like he would understand. I said, has Daya ever told you what happened with our dad? He said, your dad? No, she never mentioned anything about him. Something happened? What happened? Tell the tea. Give us the story. It happened when we were 7. Okay. It was just like any other night. Daya and I were getting ready for bed. Our dad was across the hall and our mom was downstairs. Then something unexpected and terrifying happened. Something that your parents might warn you could happen when you're a child and you never think it will. What happened? What's going on? Oh, Lord. Y'all, it's a robber. Why would he have a ladder? Oh, Lord. God. Daya, what's wrong? Daya said, run, Lucy. But I couldn't. I was frozen in fear as the man kept smashing the window ferociously. He was almost inside. Daddy. Look at my daddy, y'all. Dad said, what's going on? Oh, Lord. The criminal said, such a pretty little girl. Not the criminal. Dad said, you better get out of here before I call the police. Oh, Lord. God. He said, I think twice before doing that. Y'all. Look at me shut the door. God. Dad said, please, you can take whatever you want. Just don't hurt my girls. He said, but your girls, that's what I want. Would have been nice to have twins, but I suppose one will just have to do. He said, I won't let you take her. That man gonna shoot him. His daddy. He said, shouldn't have done that. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. I watched that kidnapper murder my father in cold blood. Daya had run to my mom and she called the police immediately. They were already on their way. So when the man heard the sirens, he climbed back out the broken window and ran into the night. Never to be seen again. Yo, my life changed in an instant. You watched your daddy get shot. That's crazy. Oh my God. Dad kissed us goodnight not 15 minutes before, and then he was just gone. Why would that man put a ladder up? Why wouldn't he just come through the downstairs? Okay, that's fine. My dad sacrificed himself for my safety. He was the best father anyone could ask for, and he's the one who loved hearing me play the piano. After he died, I took the piano more seriously and found comfort in it. It's how I feel connected to him. Luke said, Lucy, I'm so sorry you went through that. I can't imagine. I said, it's okay. It's a long time ago. I never told anyone that story before. He said, it must be hard to relive. But I'm glad you can trust me enough to tell me what happened. Have you ever talked to a psychologist about it? That can be really helpful to heal emotional scarring. Come on, we love a mental health king. Come on, Luke. I said, no, I haven't. I went through a period of depression, and sometimes I get nightmares about that night. But my family has helped me over the years. I found that enough. He said, that's good too. Psychology is normally the first thing suggested in my house, since my mom does it for a living. Okay, that's interesting, Luke. You must learn a lot from her, huh? He said, yeah, but I'm also constantly analyzed by her, which isn't great. I guess it's okay, but both my parents are really successful in their careers. So they kind of have high expectations of me when I graduate too. All they want is for me to be a doctor or athlete. It's the reason I stopped playing music when I was a kid. They've had my life planned out since I started first grade. I said, that must be difficult to deal with. He said, yeah, but it is what it is. Maybe I could just pick up music as a hobby again. You should, Luke. I'll help you out whenever you want. Only if you want me to. He said, yeah, I really like that. Okay, this is the longest car ride in the history. Okay. I was about to say. The guy's pulling up at a house. Okay. I was about to say, this man that drove to Florida the way we driving and telling stories and stuff. Okay. Y'all. Luke said, are you really sure the bartender was pointing at him? I said, I'm positive. He said, I thought I knew all of Daya's friends. I said, you can wait here if you want to. He said, as if. We in this together, Lucy. Okay, together, huh? Okay, look. No, it's just knocking on the door. Just walking up, ringing the doorbell. Jared said, Daya? Leave me alone, you crazy B-word. Oh, Lord? Who you talking to? Oh, Lord. Luke Spitz promptly smashed against the door as the guy attempted to close it. Panic showed in the stranger's eyes. He feared us. Look at Luke. Luke said, don't you run from me, period. Look at Luke running up in people's houses. Luke! Who is this man? Luke, you can't just run up in people's houses. This is trespassing, Luke. Luke said, how do you know Daya? Look at him fight, y'all. People slapping each other. I could barely believe the sight in front of my eyes. Luke got this man hemmed up in his house. God. Luke. Aggressively, Luke had pushed the guy against a pillar. His one arm squeezed against his neck, which made him gasp for air desperately. Blood rushed to his face. He stopped fighting to get out of the position. Oh, Lord. I've seen Luke get militant in his football games before, but he never got violent out of the field. This side of him was a side I could have never imagined. His eyes were on fire, his muscles shaking, and his face has an expression that terrifies me. Luke said, "Do I have to repeat myself?" Jared said, "Why don't you ask her yourself? She's right behind you." His voice was shaking, and in between his words, he tried swallowing for air. Luke said, "Because I asked you." Luke screamed, which made me get chilly goosebumps. He pushed his arm even tighter against his neck. Jared said, Okay. We met a couple months ago at Luke's. Ever since we hooked up, and Luke said, "You did what?" Instantly, Luke backs off. His face goes from being red out of anger to being white like a wall. Jared said, "We slept together occasionally." Y'all, Daya was out here creeping around on her man. That's crazy. Luke caught his breath, stunned by what this man had just said. I couldn't believe his words. How could Daya cheat on such a great guy like Luke? Jared said, "You could have told me that you had an effing boyfriend, Daya. You slut." Oh, Lord. Don't you call my sister a slut. Luke said, "Don't talk to her like that." Oh, look at Luke fighting in this man's house. Jared said, "Fine. Crap, why are you punching me? I was just as clueless as you." Luke said, "What did you do to her?" He said, "Me to her? She was the one threatening me with a knife." Luke said, "What are you talking about? Your crazy girlfriend over there cut me with a knife last night. Said she'd come back and do worse if I don't stay away from her. She acted crazy, almost like she was someone else." Luke's fists are clenched, his pain quickly turning into madness. I said, "Luke, let's get out of here." Before somebody called the police. It's not worth it. He said, "Never talk about Daya that way again." Look at him fighting, y'all. Luke. Luke, that's enough. You done four-piece this man. Good Lord. Jared said, "Man, I told you I didn't know." Luke, please. To my surprise, Luke listened to me. "Look, I'm sorry, sir." Jared said, "You sorry?" Look at the blood, y'all. God. You sorry? You slept with me while having a boyfriend and threatened to kill me. Get out of my sight before I call the police, Daya. What was my sister on, y'all? What was going on here? Luke, you done ran up in that man's house. Luke. He said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lose my temper. But I said, you didn't know." He said, "I didn't know. I knew we were having issues, but I never thought she would cheat on me." Look, she don't deserve you, Luke. If you ask me, she don't deserve you. I mean, you did everything for her and she thanks you by doing this. She should appreciate you more. He said, "Thank you, Lucy." Of course. Suddenly, he gave me a soft smile, a smile that created a tickle in my stomach. "Okay, no, Lucy, control it. Control your feelings." He said, "We should go. Your concert is in an hour, and we need 50 minutes to get back into town. Why did we drive this far?" I said, "You want to stop searching for her?" He said, "It's not like she would have done any different for me. Also, this concert is your chance to get out of this town. I won't let her destroy your life as well." I wanted to disagree with him, tell him we shouldn't give up yet. But the fact that my sister didn't appreciate him, acted like the love he gave her was no big deal, made me angry at her as well. Luke is such a great guy. He didn't deserve this. Okay. The entire drive back, we remained silent. Luke's look was empty as he focused on the road ahead. I know he's hurt, but he's doing his best to hide it from me. Even though his silence is saying more than anything he possibly could have said. I said, "Do you have some water?" He said, "Yeah, under the seat." Okay. Oh, look, yo! I couldn't believe what I found under the seat. That is Daya's jacket, a bloody jacket. Y'all,